during the playoffs last year with Simmons out, and again, it was a Simmons for Hayward swap, so you can argue in terms of value to each team what that would have done in it. But so much was made of Simmons being a game changer because of his defense. And certainly he made big defensive plays late in the game here, so no one's going to deny it. But he was primarily on Jaylen for a lot of the first game and bit stretches tonight. And Jaylen ate him alive.
Yeah.
Jaylen's too quick and Simmons is a phenomenal athlete. Jaylen is too quick for him.
Are we going to talk about Jaylen?
No. No, I mean, let's go there because it is by far the most impressive thing. That he's, I mean, you said it in a text and it's kind of half joking, but you're like, Jaylen is Jordan, but
well, people used to joke about it, and now at this rate of production,
he is getting any shot he wants.
He's Michael Jaylen
anytime. And the most amazing thing about Jaylen is I still don't think he's hit peak. There's still a place he can go where he's going to be legitimately unguardable. Because he's almost there where he can get anywhere on the floor he wants at this point. And all of these shots, it's so rare he takes a Tatum type of shot, which Tatum hits.
Agreed. That's a great point.
But he doesn't take Tatum shots where he's okay,
smart shots.
He's physically able to get where he needs to go because he's faster and more athletic than Tatum is, and nobody can stay in front of him. So he's constantly moving. He's got the little jitters and the crossovers. Simmons was off balance all night. Simmons was crossing himself over trying to stay in front of Jaylen. He could not do it. Couldn't do it.
I meant the Marcus Smart shots. He doesn't take the Marcus Smart shots.
No, he doesn't. But I'm saying Tatum takes them and makes them. I mean, it's part of his game.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
He puts it in your eye. And I mean, he's at a very high percentage. So that's part of his thing. But Jaylen doesn't do that. Jaylen's points, we're talking about what seems to be an unsustainably high shooting percentage from mid-range. But one of the reasons he's doing it is they're almost all good looks, you know?
Brown's mechanical, methodical. When a quarterback drives down the field and they call it a methodical drive, like Brady back in the day. I feel like that's more Jaylen Brown's style, where he's not relying on the Hail Marys. He's just firing down, 10-yard pass, 12-yard, 8-yard. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, at the end of the game, he's got 30+ points now. That's I know, what is it? He's got 5 30+ games over this season or something like that, and he had 42 tonight. And it's becoming less
straight 20+.
Yeah, so it's becoming less surprising to see him put up those numbers. Of course, he's doing it without Jayson Tatum, so he's being asked to do a little bit more. He's taking more shots. He's being looked at to take that shot. But he's also stepping. I know they took the loss and they lost earlier this week, but he's still, in my opinion, stepping up and doing everything he can to at the very least, keep these games competitive and give the Celtics a chance to win them. It should be great. It would be great if they could have won one of these two without Tatum, but it is a tall task when you're playing what I think we all consider one of the best teams, not only in the Eastern Conference, but possibly a team that obviously is top 10 in the league for sure. I don't know where you'd put them, but the way they're playing right now.
I was worried too when Kemba came back. I think we all slightly had this worry that the ball would come out of his hands a little bit. And against the Knicks, we saw that especially. He ended, some of our commenters put it as corner Jaylen, stuck in the corner, taking the catch and shoot shots. I believe 6 of his first 8 shots in that game are catch and shoot threes.
Mm-hmm.
And Kemba's usage rate was through the roof in that game. I wrote for CLNS. It was 44-30 Kemba to Jaylen in that game. And then they come out last game against Philly. He gets right on the ball. They're both able to complement each other a little bit. They trade possessions. And again, tonight, there's no issues back and forth between those two.
Well, the ball ran through. I'm curious the numbers, but the ball ran through Brown on so many possessions. And it kills me. I tweeted this during the game. It kills me when they have an entire possession when Brown doesn't touch the ball. When we talked about a few games ago, I remember we were killing Marcus Smart taking too many hero ball shots late in the game and a loss. I can't remember which game it was. And we got into that debate, who should shoot, who shouldn't shoot. Grant took a corner 3 in this.
Oh, it was the Detroit game, yeah.
It's less about who's touching the ball. It's less about who's taking the shots and more about who's touching. Going entire possessions without Brown in this case, or when Tatum's here, without Brown and Tatum touching the ball, drives me insane. They don't have to shoot it. The ball's got to get in their hands somewhere during possession in late situations. And tonight, up until the game got away from them, Brown was consistently having the ball in his hands. They were running things through him. Didn't happen Kemba's first game back, as you mentioned, but you can throw that one out the window.
And it got away from him a little bit last game too. Tonight,
a little bit.
7 shots in the fourth. I thought that was on the mark. Really 6. One was garbage time.
Yeah.
But he's efficient. If you get him 10 shots, he's going to make 5 or 6 of them. If you get him 30 shots, he's well above 50% here. And that playoff game, I think it was game 6 against Toronto last year. How many shots did he take in that one that drove Jimmy crazy? I think it was over 30. And I remember
Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
No, it was I think it was like mid to upper 20s. But this was.
And again,
when
now
everybody was playing, and like it was a little different situation.
Well, I just never have a problem with him shooting as many. It's like the more the merrier because his efficiency's through the roof, and it was last year. For most of his career, and throughout the first 2 years there, he's an upper 40s and now above 50 consistently shooter from the field because he's a great finisher. That mid-range is expanded. And you guys said there's not those Marcus shots. Well, he's taking a lot of those pull-up threes and hitting a ton of them. So you look at his shot charts after the game, he just hits from everywhere.
Well, he's earned that right. I'm shocked when a 3-point, when a clean look at a 3 doesn't go down when Jaylen shoots it. It's amazing now.
And the free throws there now. I mean,
he did miss a couple late, but again, late.
We've had this conversation before, and it's useless. It really isn't. It's just fun to have because it doesn't matter. But like he could be as good as Tatum. Why not? Like what's stopping him?
There's nothing stopping him at all. And
he's going to be an all-star this year.
Before we go on, he is going to. Well, there's not going to be an all-star game, so who cares?
They'll probably still name them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. This is new because we did like an entire segment on like why is everything so hard for Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum? Like everything just looks hard for them. Like that's literally the segment we did this year. Like maybe it was right before the season started or right after it started.
Yeah,
so
they look.
It looks like everything is like hard, like it takes a lot of effort. Effortful, exactly. Like you don't have to go that far back. So this is a new development. We're all acting like, oh, this is Jaylen Brown. This is who he is. Blah blah blah. It's like this is Jaylen Brown 2.0. This is like Bubble Brown, but like even more so. So it's great to see, and I love that it's happening.
It's a great point, Jimmy, because it does. We did talk about they seemingly sometimes make it hard on themselves. For Jaylen, you still have a lapse or two with some sloppy ball. Turnovers are a tad high for him still. But again, that's also going to be a byproduct of just having the ball in your hands a lot more than he used to, where offense didn't run through him as much. So that's going to happen. Beyond that, it looks effortless this year. Not effortless, but smooth. Easy.
Sure. Yeah, it looks natural, right?
It's just natural. He's just everything. You always talk about. I always use the analogy of you guys have all seen The Matrix, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Keanu finally figures it out, and all of a sudden everybody's moving real slow. Like that's what the game's starting to come like for Jaylen.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everything's slowed down around him, and he's like, I get it now, and it's so easy. I mean, not easy, but it's so much more natural than before, where he just kind of go and then hope. We'll see how this ends up. I don't know. I don't think you can say enough about him. I think a lot of commenters here are saying it like he's better than Jayson already. He's better than Jimmy. You said
bias, so
it is, but you said why can't he be better? I at this point I don't know that you can make a strong argument with certainty that Tatum's absolutely the man.
So what Tatum still has on him is the pick and roll, and I came into the season, I got blasted for a little bit. I shouldn't have because we have Goodman saying he's not even a second option. But I was hesitant to see if he could become a ball handler to where he could make plays for others and run effective pick and rolls. And he's doing it. He's hitting Tice. He's finding guys on the short roll and all those other things. But Tatum dominates it, and I still have gripes about Tatum's turnovers sometimes in it, but when he hits it, that pick and roll with Tatum just breaks teams down, and they go on 10, 15-point runs with him on the floor. Brown's great in his own game right now. He can hit big pull-up shots. He almost brought them back into it in the fourth tonight. He played a great fourth. but Tatum blows teams away. And you look at the on-off numbers and with him, and he's such a great help defender too. And, great defender in his own right.
Tatum's a great team defender.
Yeah, when he's on the floor, they just blow teams away.
He's an unbelievable. I agree with that. There's stuff that Tatum does that still doesn't register enough with people, and playmaking and a lot of different things.
Rebounding,
for sure. But the thing I like about Jaylen is he puts more pressure on you. Where Tatum has that kind of slow, lull you to sleep. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to dribble. I'm going to set you up and I'm going to go. And Jaylen gets it and goes, and I'm always more in favor of putting the pressure on the defense. How many fouls we talk about Jaylen getting to the line? How much of that is simply based off of speed and catching people backpedaling and off guard? A lot of it. There were a couple of times where he actually wasn't super in control, but because he went hard and fast, he got the call. He bought the call because everyone was trying to settle and, figure it out, as opposed to Tatum, who's going to kind of hold it back there and everybody's going to be waiting to see what he does. So I like that. I think Stevens always talks about playing faster in general. Yeah. And I think Jaylen does that, whereas Tatum is a bit more methodical and calculated and, how he goes about things.
I'd be interested to see too, those transition numbers with him, because just looking at it, I mean, him on the break is like Simmons, Giannis, LeBron, these kind of guys who just create a fast break and a fast break attack of their own. That's what we saw for stretches of tonight too, where they could open up their offense just by giving him the ball on the break and him doing something with it. And that's what he came into the league great at. That was like his first awesome attribute. And now it's the centerpiece of everything he does still.
Well, let me ask you this, Bobby. Go ahead, Jimmy. And then I'll ask after.
Okay, fine. I was just going to add it quickly. There was a comment that you had posted that was, somebody said that Tatum is more like Harden in the sense where he avoids contact a bit, will be more inclined to take the step back. And I think, I'm not comparing him to Harden, but I think that's kind of accurate, like in the sense where Jaylen Brown is more, I mean, if we're making ridiculous comparisons, he's more like a LeBron in the sense where he'll draw contact, he won't sort of force a three-pointer, or he'll go drive to the hoop more than I think Tatum would. Whereas Tatum's more likely to Tatum's more likely to do what we had talked about, where he's holding the ball. He acts more like a point guard sometimes Tatum does. And that's fine. That's his skill. I mean, it's to be that size and to be able to act like a point guard is a positive. So I'm not trying to knock him. It's just different playing styles. Yeah. Sometimes it benefits them and sometimes it might hurt them. But certainly we're seeing Jaylen Brown evolve, grow, whatever word you want to use, into a level that I think a lot of us weren't sure he was capable of getting to.